Hi, welcome to our channel Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The shift in consciousness, a new way of living. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We rush from task to task, always thinking about the next thing on our to-do list, and we rarely take a moment to pause and reflect. But what if there's a way to live without this constant strain? A way that doesn't involve needing more, doing more, or becoming something more. This shift in consciousness is the foundation of a new life. Take John, for example. He's a successful entrepreneur in his early 40s, always chasing after the next big deal, the next promotion, the next success. But despite all his achievements, he feels a deep emptiness. One day, after a difficult meeting where his business was on the line, he sat by himself in his office, feeling exhausted and disconnected. Something clicked for him that day. It wasn't about the next deal or the success of his company. It was about the fact that he had never truly been present in his own life. This moment of realization marks the beginning of what is often called a shift in consciousness. It's the understanding that there's more to life than what we've been taught. For John, this meant no longer defining himself solely by his career, his achievements, or his possessions. Instead, it was about being present in the moment, accepting what was happening right now, and letting go of the endless need to prove himself. What John experienced is something we can all go through. It's the realization that we are not defined by our roles, our titles, or our past achievements. Instead, we are simply human beings, capable of living fully in the moment, without needing anything to change or improve. When we can shift our consciousness to live more in the present, we unlock a profound sense of peace and clarity. It's about letting go of the mind's endless chatter and truly experiencing life as it is, without the filters of past memories or future anxieties. This shift is not about rejecting our responsibilities or desires, but about shifting our awareness. Instead of always looking for something external to fill us, we turn inward and find peace within ourselves. It's about realizing that the mind, which often causes stress and anxiety, can also be a source of great peace if we learn to manage it properly. We live in a society that values constant productivity and achievement, but the shift in consciousness is about realizing that true fulfillment doesn't come from these external sources. It comes from within, from a sense of peace and contentment that is independent of anything happening outside of us. The shift requires us to stop identifying with our thoughts and emotions. For most of us, our thoughts define who we are. We think we are the angry person, the worried person, or the anxious person. But in reality, these are just passing thoughts, not who we truly are. We are much deeper than the surface level of our thoughts and emotions. Real-life story. Emma was a high school teacher who had always been passionate about her work. She loved teaching and was deeply invested in the success of her students. However, over time, she became burned out. The constant grading, meetings, and pressure to perform left her feeling drained. One day, she was sitting in the staff room during lunch when one of her colleagues asked her, "Emma, when was the last time you truly enjoyed teaching?" That question struck her. She realized that she hadn't really enjoyed her work in years. She was so focused on the expectations, the deadlines, and the need to prove her value that she had lost sight of the deeper purpose of teaching, helping young minds grow. This realization led Emma to a powerful shift in how she approached her work. She began to focus on being present with her students, listening to them more deeply, and enjoying the act of teaching itself rather than the outcomes. Over time, this shift transformed her experience of teaching. She no longer felt drained, but instead felt a renewed sense of joy and fulfillment in her work. Emma's story highlights how the shift in consciousness is not about quitting your job or making drastic changes to your life, but about changing the way you relate to your life. It's about being present, accepting what is, and finding peace within the ordinary moments. The role of the ego in our lives. At the heart of many of our struggles lies the ego. The ego is the part of us that defines ourselves through labels and identities. It tells us that we are our achievements, our roles, our possessions, or our relationships. It constantly compares us to others and keeps us in a state of competition and insecurity. David, a man in his 30s, had always been proud of his career. He was a rising star in his company, constantly striving for more success and recognition. He defined himself by his job title and the salary he earned. But when he faced a sudden layoff, his world crumbled. His sense of self was entirely tied to his career, and without it, he felt lost and worthless. David's struggle is a common one. Many of us base our identity on external factors: our job, our wealth, our family, or our appearance. But the truth is that these things are fleeting and external. If we base our sense of self on them, we are always at the mercy of external circumstances. The ego thrives on comparison and competition. It constantly tells us that we are not enough, that we need more to be happy. But when we stop identifying with the ego and start living from a place of presence, we begin to experience life differently. We are no longer defined by our achievements or possessions. Instead, we begin to understand that we are enough just as we are, and that true fulfillment comes from within. The importance of awareness and presence. The key to breaking free from the ego is awareness. Awareness is the ability to observe our thoughts, feelings, and actions without identifying with them. It's the ability to step back and recognize that we're not our thoughts. We're the observer of our thoughts. This awareness allows us to break free from the patterns of the ego and experience life more fully. For example, Sarah, a mother of 2 young children, often felt overwhelmed by the demands of parenting. She was constantly thinking about the next thing she needed to do, whether it was picking up groceries, making dinner, or getting her kids to bed. She never had time to just be present with her children. One day, while playing with her kids, she had an epiphany. Instead of rushing through the moment, she decided to slow down and fully engage with her children. She focused on the joy of playing with them, listening to their laughter, and cherishing the time she had with them. In that moment, she realized that she had been so focused on the tasks at hand that she had missed the beauty of the present moment. Sarah's story is a reminder that life is happening right now. We don't need to wait for some future event to bring us happiness. Happiness and fulfillment are available to us in every moment if we are present enough to notice. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.